Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the third episode of IW Presents VTW Tuesday Night Warfare. We are live here from Atlanta, Georgia. The show just went off about an hour or so ago, and we got a stacked panel here tonight. Of course, me, President of VTW, TJ Blair. Right below me, we got the ever resourceful Miss T. On right next to her, we have my Executive Vice President of Talent Relations, Mr. Graves Fuller. And beside me is a representative of our charity sponsor for this evening, the Peach State Piledriver Foundation, Mr. Samuel Hartford Ignatius Thompson III. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
This was a crazy night, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we had we had some wild action tonight. We had that big triple threat electrified barbed wire steel cage match. We had the Defiance Championship scramble match. We had a Georgia street fight with James Park and David Blake making his VTW debut. And we also saw the official contract signing between Jack Harvey and Dylan Mason for their championship match next week.
Dang.
A lot happened tonight.
For sure.
And one of the big things that happened tonight is actually regarding the man to my lower right. We made a little announcement at the beginning of the show, of the live show. Obviously, this is the recap, but TJ Blair here. I'm going to be taking a little bit of a back seat from the on-screen roles. I've got other business to attend to with my in-ring endeavors elsewhere. So someone has got to kind of be my eyes and watch the ship. And he's risen the ranks so quickly here, I couldn't think of anyone better to take over this mantle. So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the now general manager of VTW Warfare, Mr. Graves Fuller.
I promise I will run this ship just as great as the last company I was help managing. I will make sure the best stars are getting the opportunities they deserve to rise to the top so that we can put out the best possible product in all of the IW umbrella.
I look forward to seeing you do that. Now, I'm here tonight with my Java Moonster juice.
Monster juice?
Yeah. Did you not catch Omega last season? Moonco hit up a deal with Monster Energy?
No.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
And I'm drinking my Moon Cola.
Hey, there you go. It like the brand crossovers are all over the place.
I've got a Moon Temple.
All
Shirley
right.
Moon Temple product.
Hey, there we go. Can't go wrong with that.
No.
Yeah, you know, these brands, these flavors, they're all over the place. You know what else was all over the place? Our opening match of the evening.
Let's get to it.
This triple threat electrified barbed wire steel cage match. That is a lot to say.
It wasn't really all over the place. It was contained within the cage.
Yeah.
But it was
all over the place for completely you can be all over the place while still being confined to a small space. You can be all over that place. No, we had
no expense in procuring the finest scrap metal that Georgia had to offer to build this cage within the budget because we spent most of the budget on that new intro.
Yeah.
So
thanks, by the way, to our opening pre-show act for the dance routine to lead us into the show going forward.
Yes. Yes. But so
8 times 5
entertainment. But we had Orlando Simpson making his VTW debut as well. We had Crew Daniels. We had Darius Jones. Darius Jones issued an open challenge last week.
He did.
Yeah, for an electrified barbed wire steel cage match. Both Crew
What
Daniels
was
and
that
Orlando Simpson accepted the challenge. So
Right on
we
the
said,
spot.
hey, we said, hey, he didn't say he was challenging to a one-on-one electrified barbed wire steel cage. He just said electrified barbed wire steel cage. So
Hey, he's lucky. He's lucky it was a 3-way. It could have been a 4-way, 5-way. Anyone could have came in this match.
yeah, the whole roster could have answered and just thrown them
True.
all over the place. But nope, it was just
Yep.
a triple threat. It was Daniels, Darius, and Simpson. And let's talk about this cage. This cage was, we were a little iffy on whether or not we were actually going to have the budget to pull off the cage.
Yeah.
But we were able to scrap that thing together with zip ties, duct tape, and broken dreams.
Again, A-Town's finest.
Yeah, A-Town's finest metal and whatnot came in handy for this. And
the walls are all the same height, and a lot of it's covered in rust. And
but it's also got electrical currents running through it, and it's also covered in barbed wire. So you know what? It got the job done, setting the tone for this chaotic match. And right out of the gate of this one, Darius tries to ally with Crew Daniels against Orlando Simpson. And they're kind of going at him in tandem momentarily before. That did not last long, though. That did not last long. He turned Daniels turned on Jones quickly with that kick of fate of his, sending him right into one of the barbed wire panels. Right out of the gate, we've already got the man attached to and he's stuck in there. Like, he's tangled up in that barbed wire already. We're not even a minute into this. And we've already got the man who made the challenge trapped in barbed wire. Daniels is he's throwing shots at him in the barbed wire. Simpson, though, is able to recover from the double team, and he grabs Crew Daniels and whips him into one of the electrified walls.
Oh, I can feel that volt coming through my body.
He didn't get all of it, but he got just enough to, Crew Daniels, he felt that. He felt that.
I felt that over here, man.
That he was wearing in there. So, he just said, screw it, got rid of the shirt.
Yep.
It was game on from there. And these two went at it all the while Darius Jones is trying to pull himself out of the barbed wire. These two are going at it as Jones is able to recover and catches Simpson with a running knee. This one goes on for a good several more minutes. These three just beating the piss out of each other. There's a point where Simpson charges Crew Daniels, but Daniels gets out of the way, and Orlando crashes face first into the barbed wire. He's Crimson Mask. Simpson is bleeding like a stuffed hog. It's wild. It's crazy. Then in the final moments of this match, this was the damnedest thing that I think I've seen. Crew Daniels and Darius Jones are trading shots when Orlando Simpson pulls himself up to his feet, cocks his fist, and comes charging with what I've heard he calls this the Orlando punch.
Oh,
Come flying in. They get out of the way, and he just crashes full contact with the electrified wall. And it was almost like he was stun locked. Because he just kind of stayed there getting fed electricity, and then one of the batteries electrifying the cage started sparking, and then the rest of them did, and then the damnedest thing.
It looked like phone.
One of the batteries, one of the batteries just straight up exploded. Smoke is everywhere. Crew Daniels,
it looks like a Snoop Dogg
what's
concert
around him. Orlando Simpson completely incapacitated. Darius Jones, however, is able to get out the door and sneak his way to a victory.
Smart man.
Using the cover of the smoke from the explosion, buys himself a win tonight.
Darius,
I guess sometimes it does pay off to shoot off at the mouth.
You know what?
I
Darius
guess.
Jones may be the smartest man in VTW.
That's not so much credit. In other news, the sponsor of VT, the mascot, would like to say hello. There's a cat on screen, folks. By the laws of the internet, you must click like on this video.
Asshole
You
kitty.
heard the man. You heard the man. Now, as officials were clearing out the carnage, cleaning up the cage, getting Orlando Simpson's body carted out,
Making sure they change the
And
mat.
some
'cause
fans-
it's
yeah,
very
making sure
blood.
they change that mat. We
Some
had to
fans-
take a little intermission break, and that was. I felt like this is a good time to announce what's in store for next week, because next week is our mid-season event. Next week we will be witnessing 8 crazy fights.
Ooh.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have 8 big matches lined up for next week, and that is our big mid-season event. We're taking the following week off for Christmas Day and New Year's. So, everyone can have that last week of the year to, just kind of recover from the craziness that's to come next week.
Yo,
So,
hey, Santa may show up and want to brawl too.
you never know. You never know. We've got a lot lined up for that. Like,
We're
Mhm.
about to try as many holidays as possible. Hence why it's 8. Crazy.
Can we announce anything?
Let's see, can we? I will say one thing we can expect is we will be witnessing 3 very interesting match types. We will be witnessing a return and 2 debuts next week. The contracts are signed. The ink is dried. It's going to be a wild ride, ladies and gentlemen. And we will announce more matches. We will announce more matches as the show goes on. Also, as stated earlier, we have the contract signing at the end of the night to make Dylan Mason versus Jack Harvey for the VTW Heavyweight Championship next week at 8 Crazy Fights official.
That's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah. But speaking of barn burners, we had a matchup that was oddly, I don't know if people expected the energy that was brought into this one, but it was 2 guys that have a lot of history on the independents together. It was Big Kano versus Larz Wyld. Now, Sam, I know this was a match that I saw you get up close and personal for. I could tell you were really invested in this one.
I believe this was the match that your foundation personally sponsored to make sure it got uninterrupted on the air.
Yes, sir. I have seen these two personally, been a fan of both Kano and Larz for a very long time. So to get up close, personal, witness this match, and be able to, call this match on behalf of both men, given their history in the sport, especially with each other, it means a lot to me personally. So, 20-minute time limit for this contest. And they battled it out, at the beginning. Kano was able to get the advantage with a side headlock, but Larz fought back only like he can. And he gained the initial advantage, but that's when Larz was able to come fight his way through, spike Kano on top of the head with a very brutal DDT. Got a 2 count out of it. But, they get back up. Larz is able to still hold the advantage, but Kano able to come back with hard forearm shots right to the face and turn things in his way and hits a standing vertical suplex and then runs off of the ropes and hits a backsplash senton, all of the weight dropping down on Larz Wyld. He only is able to get a 2 count, but as Kano was getting Larz up, Larz is able to fight through, smack Kano right in the mouth, kicks him right in the knee, and then Larz backs up a couple of steps, runs straight at the side of the head, the temple, hits a knee trembler, goes he goes for the cover. 1, 2, but Mr. Kano is able to get out at 2, and Kano's able to come back. Both men are fighting, and that's when Kano was able to hit a European uppercut and sends Larz right into the corner, charges in, forearm smash that he calls the blackout. Larz falls to the mat below. As Kano is attempting to cover, the ref signals for the bell. Ding ding. We have reached our 20-minute time limit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
The crowd is booing this. They wanted it in. Kano was upset. Obviously, it looked like he had this in the bag, ready to check out. But when
it's like
the time
Kano was clearly frustrated, but it was also kind of like. He was also kind of like, it is what it is. Kano is very much one of those. He's just living for the moment types. So
the thing,
man, that I almost got it, but Larz was a little more frustrated though that he was that this one ended the way it did.
The thing is though,
5 more minutes. I know, but as the generous, benevolent GM I am, I could not allow that to happen. Why give the crowd what they want now when they can have something better later? I promise.
You also want them to pay for it because VTW presents the best pay-per-views in the sport.
Exactly. We're about to see our mid-season blow-up show. We need to get butts in those seats. Why?
Which, by the way, I don't know if TJ is allowing if I can take this over for a second. You all can see it, but for international subscribers to the IW network, you will pay $5 to see 8 crazy fights next week.
Wow, that's about that's actually a pretty decent discount from the U.S. prices.
Yeah,
because
it's just for inflation.
Wow.
It turns out the cheaper you make it for international viewers, the easier it is to get into those markets.
Mm-hmm.
So cut
BTW expanding.
There we go. Making our mark.
The world, after all, right? So
that's right. That is right. And before we get into our next contest, we do have a quick little sponsor break. If you need to go and maybe go grab a quick snack, head on down to Pedro's.
Hola, it's Pedro. Come try my chicken and tacos. I sell your body parts to the cartel. Oh, also, Texas Steel, you son of a bitch. Tell your sister. You can go piece up a rope. That ain't my baby. Fuck that bitch.
Okay. What is the deal with this guy?
I don't know, but Texas Steel needs to talk to his sister, whoever he is.
I feel like I've been hearing this go on for about a year now, and he's never addressed it.
Disappeared.
There's probably nobody here who's going to get that, and that's perfectly fine.
Yes. But also, a big thank you to Pedro's for sponsoring this street fights and constantly providing the best catering for our events. And if I'm not mistaken, Pedro is kind of pivotal in this match coming up.
Pivotal Pedro, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like
Double P
might make Tyrion jealous because of how his carry skills is. Blair, I hope you want help.
I know, right?
I hope you can handle your little brother with that. Because we know how his jealousy is.
Excuse me.
We shall see how it goes. But hey, Next up, of course, we had the big Georgia street fight. We had James Park going one-on-one with David Blake. Georgia boy versus the international export here. And this was an exciting match because it felt like, David Blake came in and just completely shook up the scene here.
Well, nice Kenny decided to say hello.
When he walked into the door, like there were whispers. There's like, wait, oh, he's here. And it was especially clear that it woke something up in James Park because he's been really unstable the times we've seen him pop up. And it almost felt like something clicked in his head when he found out this match was happening, because this was, he kind of, as the match went on, you could kind of tell that whatever's been going on in his head is still very much a problem. But it was almost like he recomposed himself for the sake of this match. And it was quite the ride.
Oh, it was.
It definitely was. It was not my proudest moment signing David Blake. He and I had much history. We did not get along ever. But even I recognize the star power and money that he can be and how much he'll push talent.
That's how I feel about working with you again, knowing my history with you.
I have been a saint to you, my lady.
You said but no. Another place, another time.
Anyway, into this match, David Blake started this one out pretty strong, coming in using that hard-hitting, brawling style of his, controlling the energy with Park. There's one point they get outside the ring, go over the barricade. They're fighting into the stands, and Blake hits a wicked snap suplex on the concrete floor. These two find their way into the backstage, and they're around like the vending area when Blake goes behind the chicken and taco stand and grabs a sack of potatoes. I kid you not.
That's just right. Pedro handled the sack of potatoes.
He grabs a sack of potatoes from behind the chicken and taco stand. He starts pulling a few of them out and just throwing them at him. And then he grabs it. It looked to like he's going to swing it. James Park ducks out of the way. But then the man himself was in the house tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Pedro comes out of nowhere and just rips the sack of potatoes away from Blake and was like, Why are you breaking my potatoes? Leave my potatoes alone.
Am I the only one that noticed those potatoes look like they
alone.
Like, he needs to take better care of his ingredients. I think a bunch of flour fell on those potatoes. I think that's why he was so protective of them.
He was a little too protective over that sack of potatoes. That must be some like
flour.
I mean, hey, maybe I don't know. Maybe it's some sort of like special tool to help improve the taste or something. But either way, this little distraction, Pedro did not intend to disrupt the flow of the match or take Blake off of concentration. But that's exactly what ended up happening, because it gave James Park enough time to grab a steel chair and smash Blake over the back with it. And takes another shot to the ribs. We start making our way back towards ringside. More weapons start coming into play. I mean, we got kendo sticks. Park sets up a table at one point, sets it up against the ringside barricade, and he backs up looking like he's going to try to, spear Blake through it or do something. Gets a big running start, but Blake catches him at the last second and delivers a lethal combination through the table.
Reverse the STO backbreaker into the reverse STO flatliner, face first goes James Park.
Yeah, I mean, a beautiful setup, and that was good for about 2.5. That almost got him.
Almost.
We get it. Blake pulls him back up, and he goes and he drapes him off the barricade. He's looking for this move of his he calls it the mood killer. He's setting up for it, but Park's able to like squirm out of it. Blake couldn't keep his grip and was able to grab another table.
Tables galore.
Yeah, I mean, we just said tables everywhere, tables here, tables there, tables everywhere, and we got more tables to come. We got a table for the contract signing tonight. I'm glad they at least left us a couple of tables.
We got to increase the table budget, mind you. Also, center stage is not that big of a place. It's very
it's not.
Wide
and they're making great use of the space. What little they've got,
for sure. Yeah.
I mean, these two just killed each other throughout this. But anyway, near the final moments, he's got this, another table set up outside the ring. Now these two, they're trading blows back and forth up top. And at one point, Blake is able to kind of knock Park down, and he's like readjusting himself, almost like his back is turned. I'm not sure what he's trying to go for, but his foot kind of slipped up on the middle rope, and he kind of lost balance, which gave Park just enough time to jump back up, kind of grab him in a sleeper position, and the two go flying off the top through the table on the floor. Park with the chloroplexx. I mean, we got holy shit chance. I mean,
when he put him in the sleeper
theater, center stage theater was going wild.
When he put him in the sleeper, I thought that since David earlier in the week on social media said something about the relationship between KJ Pett's Killjoy and James Park, I thought James was going for anesthesia.
It looked like he was, but then he like turned it into his own little flavor.
Oof! It was devastating.
He put him in the submission and then just pulled him off the top. They went crashing through the table. It looked like Blake may have landed it was a pretty rough landing for both guys, I'll be honest. But that was enough to incapacitate David Blake for the 3. Shocking win tonight for James Park.
Very, very.
I mean, what do we expect? Don't let the name fool you. David Blake, he is a dyer. They usually lose everything.
Hey!
I'm just reporting what I have seen.
I mean, not for nothing. Have you seen my record against dyers? Just saying.
You were in point. Hold on. Let's let Miss Turner speak.
I'm not stopping her.
I hate you that the record said so. Fuck.
Hey, I just got here. You don't have to hate me. I'm new. I'm with the foundation.
You're fine. God.
I was just calling sports.
Hey,
that's it.
No, it is what it is. But after the match was pretty interesting because Park's back in the ring and he's celebrating. It looks like now that the weight of the match is over, he's kind of starting to, I don't know, kind of go back to that. He's really starting to go into that place again. Blake jumps back in the ring and extends his hand. The two shake hands. Blake pulls him back in and says, "This isn't over, motherfucker." Like, you got lucky tonight.
Yeah.
You owe me one.
Classic Dyer.
Yeah.
Classic Dyer. Lose and say it's not over, and then probably not be able to follow through.
Are you so?
Is it getting hot in here, or is it just me? But,
burning up, bro.
But before we get to our next match, I do have something me and Mr. Fuller here have been discussing behind the scenes over the last few days, and it has to do. It had a lot to do specifically depending on the outcomes of tonight's matches. But we kind of talked a bit about it before we came on live for the recap, and there were 4 people that really stood out tonight.
Yep.
first off was we had that shocking win from Darius Jones in that electrified steel cage using like using whatever wherewithal he had left in him to be able to slip out the door during that explosion. Big Kano and Wyld beat each other into a time limit draw. Neither one could put the other down, ending in a stalemate. And then James Park tonight, just, after falling up short in the Defiance Battle Royals back in week 1 with a huge win tonight.
Oh, yeah.
We have another match to announce for 8 Crazy Fights next week.
Ooh, okay.
It will be the crowning of another new champion. We will be crowning another new champion next week, the Valor Champion.
Okay.
And this championship will be contested between Darius Jones, James Park, Big Kano, and Larz Wyld.
It couldn't happen to anyone else. 4 of the best that versus the world has to offer, IW in general. If I may take the reins for a second. So if I understand this right, correct me if I get anything wrong. The Valor Championship, whoever may win it, has to defend it week to week, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
That's what we discussed. The Valor Championship will be a weekly defended title. Once you reach 4 consecutive successful defenses with the Valor Championship, you from that moment onward had the opportunity to trade in your Valor Championship for a shot at the Defiance Championship.
Damn good deal.
Big risk, big reward. And, you don't have to just immediately give it up after the 4th. You can keep holding on to it. But at that point, you're playing with fire. But we have...
if you play with fire, you can get burned.
Yeah, we have 4 people competing for that championship next week in a fatal 4-way. And the winner will set the stage for this Valor Championship. Darius Jones, Big Kano, Larz Wyld, James Park. I can't wait to see what those 4 bring to the table.
If I may pick, I believe, given his performance against David Blake, I have to say James Park is my pick to become the first Valor champion.
It's definitely, he definitely put up a strong effort. And I think he definitely comes down as one of the favorites. But you've got so many wild card elements. You got, Darius Jones is a very...
Got a man named Wyld.
Like Darius Jones is a very sneaky cat. We saw it tonight. He was able to just pull out whatever stops necessary. Larz Wyld and Big Kano don't know how to stay down. I want to point out that, these 2 guys, this was their first match in VTW where a pinfall was required to win, and neither of them could be held down for 3 seconds. The only matches they've lost, they haven't been pinned. They've been thrown over a set of ropes. So this is going to be an absolute barn burner of a match.
Goliath versus Goliath.
That's right.
With a couple of Davids in there. But you know which one isn't in there because he lost? David Blake.
You're going to rub that one in hard, aren't you?
Shove your moon juice down your throat.
Hey, I am cleanse. It is the moon juice cleanse.
All right, but now, ladies and gentlemen, folks.
I'm so ballistic like the hangman with the moon juice.
All right, but folks, we have it's time for our final match of the evening.
Okay.
We are crowning the first Defiance champion for VTW.
Let's get it.
Championship Scramble. Now, for those who may not remember or may not be familiar with how a championship scramble operates, I'll break it down for you. We got 2 people who are starting the match. After every 5 minutes, a new person enters the match. There's about, I think, 25 minutes on the clock.
Yep.
Like that.
About 20 minutes on the clock. Once everyone is out, it's basically a free-for-all. One pinfall does not end the match. The match ends when the time runs out, and whoever was the last person to get a pinfall will be declared the official champion. So if you get a pin, you better be high on guard to stop anyone else
center stage.
Yep. And this match kicked off with Big Sexy and Tyler Stone.
Two big boys.
Yeah, and these two, I mean, they threw bombs at one another in these opening minutes. Big Sexy obviously is a monster of a man. He is a brute. He is a powerhouse. One
of the best big men in the sport.
Yeah, he showed it. Coming at him with thunderous strikes, big slams, but Stone at one point was able to stagger Big Sexy, going after the legs, taking him down with a DDT, but it wasn't enough to do him down because really quickly in this match, we had a pin within the first 5 minutes. And it was Big Sexy catching Tyler Stone off guard with that big running kick of his that he calls the long D.
Oh,
kicks him right in the face, gets a quick pin, and already the first interim champion is Big Sexy. Now the 5-minute mark passes. Next entrant comes out, and it's Allison Black, who made a big impact in her qualifier for this, getting a clean sweep elimination over Vagabond, Sebastian Saint, and the Goddess. She comes in, and Tyler Stone takes a shot at her, but he's still kind of thrown for a loop after getting kicked in the face. And then he gets kicked in the face again. This time, instead of a long D, it's a Black Crusade.
So Johnny got blessed.
Big Sexy charges at her, but she pulls the ropes down, and he goes flying head over heels out of the top. And Allison gets another quick pin, this time over Tyler. Now Allison's the interim champion.
Tyler, you need to improve your game, son. You got pinned twice.
But Big Sexy was able to quickly recover, going after Allison. And the two started, going back and forth again. And Big Sexy was able to secure another victory and resume this stranglehold that he wants to have over this championship.
Two-time interim champion.
Yep, two-time interim champion already here. Next out, we have TCO. 10-minute mark pass. TCO comes out, and he goes right after Big Sexy. He sees the threat, and he's going right after it. Coming at him, really just chopping down at the legs, working over the head, trying to disorient him, knock his equilibrium off. And then he hits him with that career killer as he's knocked down and gets a pin. So now TCO, interim champion.
The career killer is a devastating move. It's knocked out many a men.
It is. TCO, he fights off Allison Black and Tyler Stone, and just these three are kind of going at it until about the 15-minute mark. Nick Apollo comes out, the final entrant in this match, and immediately makes an impact. He comes in and everyone comes running at him, and he's just going back fist after back fist after back fist after back fist.
Go Screech!
And, securing momentum at one point, TCO grabs Apollo and whips him into the ropes, but Apollo was able to turn it into a highway robbery pin. And highway robbery gets it again. It got him the win in the tournament over Anton Garcia back in week 1. It may not have worked against Mason, but it worked here to get him a spot as interim champion.
All right.
But immediately, as soon as Apollo gets up, Tyler Stone rushes him and drops him with a brain-dead brain buster out of nowhere to take the interim championship spot.
Oh, he finally
Finally, the lesbian does something.
I mean, but Tyler is beside himself. He's exasperated.
Yeah.
He falls right back down, but I don't know how anyone missed this because, again, it's the big man climbing up the top ropes. Is Big Sexy with a fucking brisket drop onto Tyler Stone.
Oh,
He had no way to prepare for it. and Big Sexy once again takes the lead.
Poor Tyler.
Damn.
You know, as quick as he got it, he
3
lost
times.
it again. It was tough. It was not a good night to be Tyler Stone. As try as he might, he fought hard, but man, he took a lot of licks. But
Big
he never
Sexy
backed
hates
down.
lesbians.
He
I'm gonna punch you in your peaches up there.
Anyway, like Big Sexy though, you know, he's got the control back. We're about 18 minutes into this. We got 2 minutes left on the clock here at this point.
Damn.
And everyone is down. Big Sexy is standing in the middle of the ring all to himself when all of a sudden these two assholes from last week, we now know who they are. It's Josh Petty and Mike Tom.
Oh my God.
They rush
Who
the
was
crowd.
Time capsule? Who was the time capsule here?
Yeah, right. Like who dusted these two off? They jump the barricade. They get Big Sexy from behind. They're beating down on him. They roll him out of the ring, and here we go with the damn tables again. They pull out two tables, put them side by side, and then I don't know how they pulled this off, but they managed to hoist the big man up with a double power bomb through the tables.
Jesus Christ. Blair, I have to ask, did you have a budget for these tables?
That's one thing I know that wrestling fans around the world love them some tables, so I made sure we had some tables.
Hell yeah.
Thanks in no small part to your charitable donations in exchange for us to broadcast your charity to refund and hopefully
thanks
raise
in
more
part
money.
to the Peach State Piledriver Foundation. Thanks in part to Pedro's and Moon Co. And another one. You know, Fuller's TV dinners. Hey, Fuller, thanks. You know, for your contributions as well.
Yes.
But now you know we've got an incapacitated Big Sexy.
Damn.
And now we are at 1 minute left on the clock. Everyone's starting to come to. Allison Black is the first one up, followed quickly by Tyler Stone and Nick Apollo. And now these three, they are trading blows. You know, Black was able to chuck Tyler over the top rope at one point, but he holds on. Nick Apollo tries to hit a running enziguri, barely grazes the back of Stone's head, but he keeps hanging on to the ropes. Allison Black catches Apollo with, what is it she calls that? The wicked poison, the poison rana, called the wicked poison on Nick Apollo, spikes the boy on his head. Tyler Stone gets back in the ring only to get caught in the Crown of Thorns submission. I don't know where this burst of energy came from Allison, but she wanted this, and it looked like she might actually have it when all of a sudden, 10 seconds left on the clock, TCO sprints out, nails Allison Black right in the face with a career killer, and takes the pin. And look at the clock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bell rings. Your winner and the inaugural VTW Defiance champion is TCO.
Scrambles
TCO
can be utter chaos. I remember one of my former clients down on the Indies was in a scramble match that lasted over 72 hours.
Wow.
Oh
There
my.
was over 100 times that title changed hands in that time. But it doesn't matter how many times you got pinned, doesn't matter how many times you scored a pin. The only one that truly matters is that last one, and TCO made that one the one that counted.
That is right. Oh, what is it? Oh, trust me, I know. Security has gotten Petty and Tom situated in the back.
Tom Petty?
Nice one.
You
Fuller,
I was
me
thinking the
and
same
you will
thing.
go handle this situation after the show.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure we can come up with something good for this because this cannot go.
No.
These two guys have come in and they have totally hijacked VTW, thinking they can run shop around here. But this is our house.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
We call the shots. So
This is
hey,
a house of
if you guys
madness.
want to come in here and you want to raise trouble without even being signed, you know what? I think we'll give you boys your shot. You want to come in here, act like you can just run around? Next week, you'll get your shot. But it's all or nothing.
And this is coming from TJ. This ain't coming from DJ.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, now that all the matches are done, we have one last thing we need to cover. Next week's 8 Crazy Fights main event is going to be made official. It will be Dylan Mason versus Jack Harvey. And one thing that we discussed is the match type. That has not been officially announced until right now. Obviously, the two combatants knew what it was heading into it, but now we're going to tell you exactly what is actually. Mr. Fuller, if you would like to do the honors of announcing the stipulation for Jack Harvey and Dylan Mason in the main event of next week's 8 Crazy Fights event.
For something that is like this, the world title, reaching the very pinnacle, the top of a company, an industry, a business, there's nothing more fitting, in my opinion, than the ladder match. Ascend to the top of this business
ladder match
is to climb the ladder and obtain glory. It is the perfect metaphor for what this business is. Now I could Hollywoodify it. I could make it all fancy. We could put the title on a tree and make them climb up the tree. It doesn't matter. It is a ladder match at the end of the day to obtain that championship.
Yep. I cannot wait to see that one go down. It's a shame I'm going to have to watch it from my station elsewhere. I won't be here live to see it, but, I will have eyes watching. But what we're going to do now is we do have footage of the contract signing between Jack Harvey and Dylan Mason. Those two obviously met in the backstage area. We played it on screen. So now we're going to show you the recap of that right here. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I personally cannot wait to watch these two fight for that world championship. I've got obviously history with both Jack Harvey and Dylan Mason. I've traveled a lot of roads with both of those gentlemen, and this is going to be big.
Absolutely. And can we appreciate a contract signing where the table wasn't destroyed?
That's right. It was oddly, it was odd. Like you could break the table with the tension between those two.
Absolutely.
I mean, you felt that energy. You could tell Mason was really trying to goad Jack in, but I don't know. Jack's aura is so different right now. I think this is gonna be a tough challenge. I think, but
it is.
I can't wait to see that go down next week. Again, we have 8 crazy fights coming at you from the SNHU Arena in Manchester, New Hampshire, December 24th, 2024, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Again, the week after that, from Christmas Day, December 25th, to the following Tuesday, there will not be a card. There will not be a card the week after 8 Crazy Fights. We will be back in January. So we will see you guys next week for 8 Crazy Fights. On behalf of Peach State Power Driver Foundation Representative Samuel Hartford Ignatius Thompson III, on behalf of VTW Warfare General Manager Graves Fuller, on behalf of Financial Advisor Miss Turner, I am President of VTW TJ Blair. We are out, and we will see you next Tuesday. Good night.